Sophia, welcome back. Today we're diving into something truly next level. This episode is not for beginners. It's for the learners who've been studying English for years, the ones who feel like they're almost there, but not quite.
That's right, Alex. And I mean truly advanced learners, the kind of listeners who notice subtle differences in tone, idiom, and nuance. If that's you, make sure you comment below right now and tell us how long you've been learning English. I want to see if our audience is as advanced as they claim.
I love that. And today we're going to challenge your listening, your comprehension, and your vocabulary in ways most English podcasts won't even attempt. So buckle up. If you're still sipping your coffee and thinking, maybe I'll just skim along, this is the moment where you need to focus.
Absolutely. And Alex, let's set the scene for everyone. Advanced learners aren't just memorizing words, they're thinking in English. They notice connotation, register, and context. And that's exactly what today's introduction will train you on, bit by bit.
So let's start with a simple exercise. Sophia, throw me a phrase that sounds simple but carries hidden meaning.
Okay, he's quite something. At first glance, that's neutral, right? But in context, it could be admiration or subtle criticism. That's exactly the kind of nuance advanced learners need to catch.
And listeners, I want you to pause and write in the comments. What would your interpretation be? Are you hearing admiration or sarcasm? This little interactive moment already trains your brain.
And while you do that, think about how often subtle cues like tone, word choice, and context change meaning entirely. Advanced learners thrive here.
Now let's push a bit further. Imagine someone says, "She didn't exactly flinch." Another simple phrase, but it's layered. Is it surprise, calmness, confidence? Advanced learners parse this instinctively. Beginners might miss it entirely.
And here's your first pattern interrupt, Alex. This will be recurring throughout the episode. Most podcasts just tell you the phrase. We're not just telling, we're dissecting, modeling thought processes, and making you feel the subtlety. And viewers, drop a comment if you've ever missed a nuance like this and it embarrassed you.
I love that. Let's break it down further. We're going to explore advanced sentence structures next. Listen carefully. Had he been aware of the implications, he might have reconsidered. That's a mixed conditional with a reflective tone.
Exactly. And most learners would need to slow down here. But advanced learners, our audience, they hear the mood, the hypothetical reflection, and the implied regret all in one sentence.
And listeners, I want you to repeat it aloud. Try to feel the sentence as you say it. That physicality of language is what turns comprehension into mastery. Comment below if you felt the subtle regret in the sentence.
Moving on, let's talk idioms. Advanced learners don't just memorize idioms, they understand when and why to use them. For example, to add fuel to the fire. Simple? Yes. But using it inappropriately can sound childish or awkward.
So here's the challenge. Try to make your own sentence with that idiom in a nuanced context, not the textbook example. Post it in the comments. I'll read some examples in the next episode. That's real engagement, learning, and retention in action.
And here's a subtle vocabulary challenge for advanced learners. Consider words like elated versus ecstatic. Both mean happy, but the intensity and register are different. Advanced learners distinguish these naturally.
And for you listeners, next time you feel happy, I want you to check yourself. Which word matches your exact emotion? Comment your answer. This trains precision in language.
Now, Alex, let's do something a bit trickier. Embedded clauses, nuance in tone, and indirect speech. Listen, he mentioned that he might consider attending, though he seemed unsure.
That's beautiful. Advanced learners catch the hesitation, the subtle doubt in seemed unsure, even though it's indirect. Beginners might just hear he might attend and miss the shades entirely.
And that's what makes this podcast different. Every single sentence is layered. I want you to analyze the layer, not just the words. Write one comment describing the tone, and I promise we'll interact with your examples in future episodes.
Here's another interactive moment. Despite the evidence, she remains steadfast in her belief. Subtle contradiction, nuanced confidence, and advanced vocabulary, all packed into one line.
Yes, and listeners, if you can identify the contradiction and explain it in the comments, you're truly operating at advanced level English. Don't just skim, engage. That's how mastery grows.
And now let's layer in a storytelling moment. Imagine a scenario, a boardroom debate, high stakes, every word carries implication. He proposed a radical change, yet his colleagues hesitated.
Right. As advanced learners, you should feel the tension. Notice the contrast in yet his colleagues hesitated. That small conjunction shifts the narrative. Advanced learners sense it instinctively.
And to keep your brain engaged for the next 30 minutes, we're going to do a rapid-fire vocabulary drill. I'll say the word, you pause the podcast, think of a nuanced meaning, and comment it. Let's start with perfunctory.
Remember, advanced learners don't just translate words, they think about context, tone, and connotation. How would you use perfunctory to subtly critique someone's effort without being rude? Comment below.
Perfect. Let's layer in one more. Circumspect. Advanced learners instantly know it's caution, thoughtfulness, but subtle.
And I want everyone to pause and write a sentence using circumspect in a scenario where overconfidence would fail. The more detailed, the better. Engagement and learning happen together.
Now, before we move deeper, let's talk about pronunciation and stress. Advanced learners hear rhythm, intonation, and stress in every word. Listen carefully. I absolutely couldn't agree more. The stress changes the intensity completely.
And if you practice saying it with stress, you internalize the emotion and mastery. Drop a comment mimicking our stress pattern. It trains your spoken fluency.
By now, listeners, we've already hit vocabulary, idioms, sentence nuance, intonation, storytelling, and interactive exercises. And we've only scratched the surface.
Exactly. And for the next few minutes, we'll continue layering these exercises. Listening comprehension, pronunciation, subtle cultural references, and advanced grammar. Every line is designed to stretch your brain while keeping you engaged.
So if you haven't commented yet, pause now. Tell us your biggest challenge in advanced English. Vocabulary, idioms, tone, listening nuance? Comment below. We'll tailor future episodes based on your feedback.
And that's the secret sauce of advanced learning. Interaction, attention, and reflection. Passive listening isn't enough anymore.
So get ready, listeners. The next segment will dive deeper into real-life conversations, subtle humor, and sophisticated phrasing. And I promise, if you stay engaged, your comprehension will be sharper than ever.
But before we move on, one final challenge for this introduction. Try to summarize everything we covered in one complex sentence, using at least 2 advanced vocabulary words and 1 idiom. Comment it below. We'll read some of the best in the next episode.
That's it for the introduction. Advanced learners, if you've made it this far and commented, you're already stepping into a higher tier of mastery. Don't stop now. Stay tuned for the rest of the episode.